Hey everyone, welcome back. So my name is Amber Gonzalez, and if this is your first time, I'm so glad you're here. And if this is not your first time, I'm so glad you came back. Now, before I even get started, something on my heart that I just want to let you guys know is that I am praying for you. I am praying for those of you that want a dream. I'm praying that God would awaken that dream inside of you. For those of you that have already been in the process of pursuing your dreams, my prayer for you is that you do not give up, do not quit, do not give in, but keep going. Just know you have someone rooting you on, being a cheerleader to you, and wants you to be so encouraged to keep going. So don't give up. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is building your future. What not to do. I may not be able to tell you what to do, but I can sure tell you what not to do. Anyways, there are two stories that I want to share with you. Very short, very simple. But these two stories will have a common thread that you will see. The first story comes from 2 Kings chapter 6, where there is a prophet by the name of Elisha. And he has a school of prophets, if you will. And his students come to him, they're like, look, this place we're meeting at, it's too small for us. Let's go and build a bigger place that we can meet. Mind you, it wasn't even just for them, but they had future students in mind as well. So this is a good problem to have. That means they're growing, right? So they set out to go build a bigger place. And as they are chopping down trees, a man with an axe head, his axe head falls into the water and he cries out, oh no, that was borrowed, right? So that's the first story. Second story comes from 1 Chronicles chapter 21, where a messenger is sent to King David to give David a message from the Lord. And that message is for King David is to go find a specific person and inquire of his threshing floor so that he can build an altar to the Lord. Now, there's two things that are specific about this threshing floor that he's to inquire of, because it had to be this particular one. So the first thing that I want to point out, this is very key, very important, is that it had a rich history, because this threshing floor was on Mount Moriah, which is the same hill that Abraham had offered his son Isaac to the Lord. But this threshing floor also had a rich future ahead of it, because it would be on the same set of hills that Jesus would later sacrifice himself and die on the cross for our sins. So David, he has plans for this threshing floor. He wants it to be a place of sacrifice and worship, which later it would remain that, because it would become the site of Solomon's temple, and Solomon was his son. So King David, he goes to this man and he inquires of his threshing floor, and the man just wants to give it to him. He's like, here, take it, it's yours. And King David's like, no, I want to pay for it. And the man insists. He's like, no, King, take it, it's yours, do what you want with it, I give it to you. And David, he's very persistent. He's like, no, not only am I going to pay for it, but I'm going to pay full price for it. Because David, he wasn't trying to find the cheapest way to please God. So as he's inquiring of this, he knew how much it meant. Meaning he knew that it would not be a gift or a sacrifice if it did not cost him something. So he inquires of this threshing floor. And had he accepted that man's offer, he knew it would have been that man's gift, not his. It would have been that man's sacrifice, not his. So let's take a look at these two different stories here. Okay, you have King David, who is king. He's got loyalties, he's got royalties, he's got riches. Now the man in the first story, where his axe head fell into the water, he cries out, it was borrowed. So that tells us right there that he's a poor man. He's not rich. He's not even well-to-do. He's a poor man. And two concerns come upon him as the axe head fell into the water. The first one is that he would no longer be able to continue in the service of the Lord. And the second burden is now he's got to try and figure out how is he going to pay back the man that he borrowed the axe from when he himself couldn't even afford to have one. So what's the common thread between these two stories that I'm trying to draw out? This is what the Lord showed me, is that you cannot build your future on borrowed things. So, okay, that's good, right? So why even talk about that? What's the big deal? Okay, I'm so glad you asked. So let me tell you, this was me. This is what the Lord was showing me. See, when I opened up my Etsy shop, I did everything right. I did everything pre-Etsy shop. Pre-Etsy shop. I did everything I was supposed to do before opening it, right? But there are just some things that you cannot prepare for, and you're not going to know to prepare for until you start it and get in there. And that is what happened to me. As I'm going, I'm realizing all these different things that I did not even think of or did not come across in my research, nothing. So I was borrowing my daughter's things. And she was the generous person in the Bible. She was that generous one. She was just like giving, like, here, take. I was borrowing, I was using her Cricut. I was using her mats. I was using her supplies, her tools, her accessories. I was using all of her stuff because I didn't realize all that went into this. And she was so generous about it. And I was just like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I will, when I build up, I will replace and pay you back for all of these things, right? And there was even a point where I was scared I broke her Cricut. Those things are not cheap, you guys. I damaged one of her mats that we were using. And so this was not okay. This was not okay. As generous as she was and as helpful as she wanted to be to me, it was not okay. So when the Lord showed me this, I was like, okay, I get it. So I spent a lot of time doing my research to make sure that what I'm about to purchase will be the right items. And so I went out and I bought my own Cricut. I went out, bought my own laptop. I went out, I bought my own supplies, my accessories, my packaging, everything that I needed. I went out and got it myself. And it is a sacrifice, I'm telling you, but it's also a peace of mind that is so worth it, because I would not want to have to pay her back buying her a new Cricut, buying her new supplies, all of these things, which I did end up replacing her mat as well. But it was just a huge burden lifted off, just knowing, you know what? Okay, I did this and I'm not borrowing from her or from anyone. So with that being said, if you guys have been following me, you guys know that I had an Etsy shop. And if you guys don't know the story, at least go back and listen to the past 3 series. It's a series called All Efforts Wasted with a question mark. I encourage you, go back and watch those 3 and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But in honor of Easter Sunday, which I like to call Resurrection Day, I will be resurrecting my Etsy shop on April 16th. I didn't want to do it on Sunday because that is Easter, but in honor of Easter, in honor of Resurrection Sunday, I will resurrect my Etsy shop. And on my Etsy shop, I will have my very first product, which is my bookmark. So this bookmark is very special to me. And the Lord gave me this idea for this bookmark a few years back. I've worked on it for 2 years. And this is not just a bookmark that marks your place in a book, but it is a bookmark that marks your place in your destiny. For it is not just one-sided, it is 4 bookmarks in one. And what they say is dream, plan, prepare, live. And these are actually steps to follow to pursuing your dreams. So the first step is pray for a dream. And I give you scriptures on the bottom of each one of these. And the next one is to plan. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write it down, make it plain, make it clear. Write out a plan. And then that next step is prepare. Now, I want to tell you guys, prepare. This is the hardest stage. This is the longest stage. It will be exhausting. Okay? You're going to, at this stage, this is where you're going to have your trials and your errors. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to feel like you're hitting the wall. You're going to feel like you're going in circles over and over again, hence the loops, if you can see the loops. Okay? This is a reminder to not give up. It's also a reminder that, yeah, this is not easy. Anything worth pursuing is going to be challenging. But if you persevere and keep going, you will get to, you will get to live out your dream. Okay? You will get to live it out. And really, there's no end to this bookmark, because when you finish one dream, you just start over with another one. And so here's the starting point, starting today. And here are 3 different paths, because sometimes we don't know what path to take. We don't know what dream to go after, or we don't know what dream we want, right? But eventually it all comes together, and you will have your chance to live out your dream if you do not give up. So get yourself, April 16th, my Etsy shop opens. Get yourself a bookmark just in time for Mother's Day. But I'm going to tell you, I may be advertising for Mother's Day right now, but it's also for men. I have had men order these bookmarks and they absolutely love it. So it's not just a bookmark for women, it's for men as well. Young, old, male, female, it doesn't matter. It's for you. But I also want to point out, so right here I have English orange, but I also sell them in Spanish and green. But you get to choose whatever language you want, and you get to choose whatever color you want. So I have green and orange, English and Spanish. So when April 16th comes, don't be shy. Go on Etsy, my Etsy shop, Just Start by Amber, and you will see these bookmarks there. And just know I also have a link in my bio, in my IG bio, that will connect you to the Etsy shop as well. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. And as always, if you haven't done so already, start today, because there is no time like the present time. Take care.